Hello there, and welcome to LCG LoL. This is game 1 of the day. This is Hatters versus Barbarians, and I am your caster, Chatters. So hopefully, as long as there isn't any level 1 exchanges, we should have time to introduce you to the teams. In the top lane, we have a pause. That will give me time to introduce you to the teams. So on the Barbarians, in the top lane, we have Lofticrease. He will be playing Mundo. We have Zapper in the jungle on Kha'Zix. We have Fishies in the mid lane on Viger, and we have Crafty on Vayne. And then we have Abrata on Kale on support. For the Hatters, we have J-Star in the top lane. He will be playing Wukong. We have Wizzykins in the jungle on Xin Zhao. We have Jingo in the mid lane on Vladimir. And Desdemona on Misfortune. And finally, Kaminari as Soraka support. So, as we are behind on the 3-minute delay, obviously I can't tell you how long this pause will keep on going. Hopefully it should be alright, and we should get into the game soon. I'm just going to spend a bit of time swapping people about. So, first of all, I think this is going to be an incredibly exciting game, because, as you can see, both the junglers are assassin-type junglers. We have Kha'Zix and we have Xin Zhao. So they are going to look to potentially farm up, but when the ganks start coming, they will come quick and fast. These are mobile champions, particularly Kha'Zix. And not to mention, we have seen a lot of jungle changes, and I have not casted a game. This is personally my first game that I get to cast with jungle plants, so I'm looking to see how they're going to use them to best effect, how they're going to use them to deny vision, it will give Kha'Zix even more mobility if he can use those exploding plants correctly. This pause should hopefully be over soon. I believe we're waiting on one of the players. But yeah, settle in, because this is going to be a best of 3. This is game 1. So settle in and enjoy the game, and then afterwards, hopefully, we can speculate in further games whether adaptations are going to be necessary by these teams. And we'll see how they size up to one another. Okay, I'm seeing we have viewers now, so hopefully you guys can hear me. So I don't know if you guys can see that in the bottom corner there, but we're just having a player restart their computer. So we can be patient. I think we can weigh up some of the matchups. I'm really interested to see Kale as a support. I don't personally see that very often. She's certainly going to be aggressive, but both of the supports obviously have healing functions, so they really are going to be about sustain. So Misfortune, I think, is going to use that. Is going to use that early. She's going to try and be aggressive. I think Vayne, Crafty on Vayne is going to look to farm and get powerful and essentially wait for late game, because that's when it's really going to come true. Viger as well. I kind of feel that with the three sort of big carries in each lane, so you have Viger in the mid lane, Mundo in the top lane, and Crafty on Vayne, that this is a comp that is going to scale extremely well when we start seeing this go up to 20 minutes, or potentially if one of them starts getting fed, they're going to be it's going to be very hard to stop that snowball. On the other side, Xin Zhao, I think, is going to be key in the jungle. Havoc is going to be caused in top lane with when Wizzy is linking up with J-Star. Hopefully they're going to go very aggressive, but they have got to take down a Mundo. And that is hard, particularly at level 6, but obviously it's going to be harder and harder as the game goes on. So I would say the early game aggression is going to go to the top lane and the bottom lane. I feel like Vladimir, Jingo and Vladimir is going to kind of be able to look after himself. You would think with the sustain, he's not going to be so far behind that he's going to be screaming for these ganks to be brought in by his jungler. But we'll see how it goes out. This is I'm coming into this blind. I don't know any of these players, so I'm interested to see how they link with one another, and kind of see what chemistries we've got, but also if they find a weakness in the other team, how they're going to exploit that, because they more than likely haven't played against each other very much. So I think it will be a very passive game. I think it's going to eventually build up when they start going, oh, we found something. We found a chink in the armor. We can keep going at that. And that's what is really going to turn this game. And I think if they spot one of those chinks in game 1 and they're not able to exploit it, it may come back to bite them in game 2. I'm pretty sure all of these guys are going to have tricks up their sleeves, unless they're all one tricks, and these are the only champions they can play. And as soon as they get forced onto another champion, I do want to mention the bans as well. That we had some quite interesting bans. A ban out of the Hatters was Garen, which I think is quite an interesting ban. Where they sort of ban Garen, but they're going against a Mundo. So if sustain was a worry, then I feel that that's almost kind of been countered. And it's interesting that then to play Wukong, maybe it was just the fact that J-Star wanted to play Wukong, didn't want to play that into a Garen. We also had a Blitzcrank ban, which I suppose I was trying to think. The lobby actually glitched, so I suspect it was a Blitzcrank ban, but it did not actually show up. I think that's quite an interesting ban, particularly as I think there's this assumption that most people have to you have to be able to, well, just learn how to dodge, just do that. But Blitzcrank with a little bit of AP can really set up a team fight very well. I wouldn't necessarily say that the Barbarians have a pick comp. They don't need someone like Blitzcrank to bring in a squishy to them. They can go in and they can chase that. They can set up a team fight in a way that suits them. But yeah, it is very strange. They're not. Maybe it's just a personal preference of one of those. We had 2 mid lane bans coming from the Barbarians, one of which was Lux, and the other was Zed. Now, I can obviously assume why they would ban Zed. Particularly, I feel like on Viger, which despite his zone control, someone like Zed can really... A good Zed is able to slip by Viger trying to kind of control the lane and really kind of become a pain. Not to mention the fact that if you have a squishy AD carry, Zed is just gonna ult in there, get his death mark on somebody, and that's gonna cause some problems. This has been an awfully long pause, and I am really trying to keep us going here while we wait for this computer to be restarted from I think it's Jingo. he has yet to buy items, so I'm assuming that it is him. Vladimir for Jingo, who we're waiting on at the moment. Vladimir was first picked by him, so obviously that could be a comfort champion for him. Viger did not come until kind of pick 7 for the side of the Barbarians. The Barbarians' first pick was Vayne, which was swapped around to enable him to have that. So I think there's been some talk there of, look, if you get me Vayne, if you secure the champion, then I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna go insane. I know how to carry on Vayne. So I think Crafty is going to be one to watch here. The jungle matchup again is going to be really interesting, but the Kazakhs did not come until pick 10. That was the counter pick, as Barbarians are on red side, obviously. That was the counter pick that they gave to their jungler. And to pick Kazakhs into Xin Shao, maybe he's got something up his sleeve. Maybe he's got an idea about how he wants to control that matchup. Particularly because Wizzykins insta-locked Xin Shao. I was kind of going down, I was writing down the picks, and Xin Shao came up and it was done. It was immediate, and I was like, that guy has secured himself a champion. He's been waiting for that. So that's either like something he plays regularly, or it's something that he thinks, oh, they've picked Vayne or they picked Viger. This champion is gonna really be effective as a ganker on those lanes. So yeah, confident picks, but I really want to watch that jungle matchup. I really want to see when they're going through their respective jungles, or if there's counter jungling afoot. I want to see them link up with each other and just kind of catch each other awkwardly and be like, wait a minute, why are you here? And then a fight is going to break out. I think it's going to be very close who comes out on top, because assumedly they are definitely going to look to counter jungle. We're still waiting on a player. So I'll just keep us going. I will hold tab for a little as well, so that you guys can see the items. I don't think there's anything really irregular there. We have a Doran's ring on the side of Kale. That could well be early harass, or unless there's gold income in his runes or something like that. That's probably the only like truly irregular thing that's there. I wish that we could also see people's keystones, but I don't think I can. I wonder if there's a way I would be able to do that. Okay, so we are proceeding in the game, currently lacking a mid laner on the side of the Hatters. They are going to be playing for the time being without Vladimir. So anyway, just to introduce you to the players again, the Barbarians, it's Lofticries in top lane on Mundo. He is currently dueling with Wukong, which is being played by J-Star. He's going to go back to base and get a refill of health. We have Zapper, who is playing Kha'Zix for Barbarians in the jungle. We have Viger, who's played by Fishies in the mid lane. Crafty is on Vayne. And then finally we have Kale, who's played by Abrata. You can see them just starting the blue buff here. Looking at the other side, we have Desdemona, AD carry on Misfortune. We have Kaminari, who's going to be playing Soraka and is currently heading up towards the mid lane to fill in for Vladimir. We have Wizzykins, he's playing Xin Zhao in the jungle, and then obviously in top lane we have J-Star. So the lack of a mid laner has really kind of changed this matchup for us. We were talking about how he was going to be able to sustain, but now we have Soraka, who's going to be playing up against Viger. So I guess sustain is still there in a funny kind of way, but now obviously we are going to be left with Misfortune in the bot lane, who's going to be against two people. At least for the time being. I'll let you know if there is any news about that. Misfortune is essentially going to be on the tower. It's going to matter, I think, where Vayne keeps that lane. If she's able to let Misfortune push out, then Vayne is going to get all the farm that she needs in order to hyper carry. We have a fight going on in top lane. That's the second time that Lofticries has been put low by Wukong, and the lane is certainly being pushed in. I think I was saying about how Xin Zhao is going to focus quite a lot on top lane, but currently we have Kha'Zix coming top lane, but he's just been revealed there by the plant, and we have a flash out of Wukong very early on. Wukong did not see that coming. I think the plant came from just down here, and now Xin Zhao is going on Kha'Zix. The duel has started and Kha'Zix is already on low health. We've got a flash out of Kha'Zix, a flash out of his top laner as well. Mundo might be going down here, but he uses his flash and get away. So that's flash spent on both top laners, both junglers. No deaths. But Barbarians, I think that was a close call there. Kha'Zix came in on the gank, but we had a plant burst from down here that might have revealed him. And Xin Zhao was definitely coming in anyway. Xin Zhao is going to be sticking around, and he's going in, hunting on Kha'Zix's jungle. Mundo there has not decided to go back just yet. So we've just seen Misfortune go back on quite low health. I think there was some trading going on in the bottom lane down here. Vayne is getting all of that farm right now. The farm is she's currently 10 up on farm. Soraka in the mid lane seems to be doing alright, playing very, very passive. Viger, of course, is going to be controlling that lane right now until the return of Vladimir. Let's take a look at Kha'Zix there, just doing his red buff, but it is warded. Xin Zhao knows exactly where he is. What's he going to do with that information? That's the important thing that we have to remember here. Let's take a look at bot lane. Trading a little bit there. I think Misfortune can still kind of hold her own, but is going to struggle to get any realistic damage down. Takes a stack of Vayne's W there. Three stacks, I should say. So Wukong and Mundo have already had some fireworks. Still, Mundo has not gone back after that exchange. I think Mundo is dead set to just farm on the tower. How close to level 6 are we? So it's still not quite level 6, but level 6 is when the real sustain starts, obviously, when he gets his ult. We have another trade coming in the bot lane. He was just unable to pop that stack there on Misfortune. Certainly struggling with only one person. But she's getting wards out. She's managing to keep things under wraps. Hopefully in game 2, as Vayne just pops a auto attack on MF there. Hopefully in game 2, when we have the teams back together, we will see a more level representation. But currently, as as you can obviously guess. There's a gold lead purely down to the CS, I think. We have Soraka trading with Viger here, who's currently out of mana. That's a fair amount of damage coming out from those bananas, but it is almost equalized there with a Q. So I would guess that Viger is going to go Morellonomicon. Obviously, Soraka there with the Spell Thief's Edge. Whether she will change and go to Doran's, or whether she will try and keep the gold income as a kind of to help with the CS deficit that she is going to inevitably get. Remains to be seen. So I think we will see, if we're going to see a transformation in the build, we will see it in the first back that we get from Soraka here. Mundo there doing pretty well to CS over under tower. Kha'Zix keeping an eye from that bush, and we have first blood in the bottom lane, but it is immediately equalized. Vayne, I think, just went in too deep there. I completely missed that. And now we have Xin Zhao chasing Kayle. It was very good that Xin Zhao was able to be there to equalize that. I think Vayne just went in too deep. And then we have a meeting of the two junglers, those awkward glances. Xin Zhao is currently on quite low health, and Kayle is still in the bot lane. Whether she's able to get to slow, she does. Kha'Zix is now going in. Xin Zhao looks to throw away his life to take down the Kayle, but Kayle is going to survive. Maybe. It's not going to take many more auto attacks, but Xin Zhao will fall. That's nicely baited there from Kayle, and she will be. It is 2-1 to the Barbarians. So I don't think I'm able to go back without missing things in the current game. I'm sorry that we missed first blood there, but I think they slipped around and essentially just dived them 2v1 without the jungler. How is Soraka doing after, I think she has bead by now? Or maybe not. But I still haven't seen a change in that Spell Thief's Edge. We have another kill in the top lane. That level 6 power spike from Mundo enables him to kill Wukong. And Wukong does not yet have his teleport as well, so Mundo will enjoy this farm. Nom 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 nom. And he has got one kill up in the top lane. So currently we are in jungle, we're about level on kills. Bot lane, we're ahead. There's a big CS deficit opening up. Mid lane, Soraka has done extremely well, but top lane, and it's not just from this little farm spree that Mundo has been able to go on as a result of that kill in top lane. It is just good CSing. He's done very well in the tower to keep that equal, or to get ahead. By sort of 37 CS is currently the deficit, if you can see there. So we have Viger going on a first roam. I think it's just going to be a ward to check blue buff. Blue buff, as you can see, is up. And we have Xin Zhao moving towards the bottom lane. It is warded, but he's going to go straight in on Vayne. Can he get the knock up? He does. Kayle there with the ultimate. I don't know if it will save her life. It won't. That's Xin Zhao with his second kill of the game, and that is a 2v1 lane. But in the top lane we have Mundo diving deep. Both of them go down. That's a kill traded back, but it's a 2-1 on Mundo, and Mundo does not have TP, Wukong does, so maybe there's a farming spree to be had for him. Misfortune then nearly going down to Kha'Zix on the gank in response to Xin Zhao's gank there. And we have Viger returning to the mid lane. Will he get an E down on Soraka? He does. Soraka manages to avoid the stun though, and avoids all damage, returning with a nice Q. And we have Xin Zhao is starting to make little entrances into the jungle. There is going to be one of those awkward encounters of, what are you doing here? But they just move away from each other. Xin Zhao is now trapped, though, between three champions. He knows that he's trapped as well because there is this ward. Kha'Zix doesn't seem too keen to follow up. He's going to stay in the bush. He's going to hope that they forget that he was there. We have the return of Vladimir. If you've just seen that on your screen, Vladimir has just reconnected. And Xin Zhao has made it out of that sticky little mess. So Soraka was held up extremely well in the mid lane. Now with the return of Vladimir, I highly doubt Vladimir is going to go support, but she will retreat. She's going to be up on gold. I want to see how the bot lane will use that. But that's really good performance from Calamari to keep even within 20 CS. She's done far better than Wukong, for example, in the top lane, falling behind, and he's kind of meant to play against Mundo. Xin Chao is back. Where is Vladimir? Is stood in the mid lane, not yet engaging with the game. But there we go. We're seeing Soraka return to the bottom lane. Maybe if just getting one last hit on Viger to get healed. So now we're seeing Kha'Zix around the top lane, going to have another awkward encounter with Mundo. He has not yet been spotted as he takes crab, but he will be now. Xin Chao comes around the corner and he reveals Kha'Zix going towards the mid lane. But now Xin Chao is going to go towards the top lane. Mundo has started to move towards him, thinks better of it and just starts to move away, but Kha'Zix is now coming in behind. Xin Chao knows that he's there. There's going to be some combat here. Kha'Zix fighting, both of the laners fighting with each other. Wukong is currently invisible. He does not go to the aid of his jungler, and when he does, he is killed. That's 2 kills for the Barbarians. Mundo is pushing further ahead. He's going to get one of those, another set of free farm while we wait for the respawns. Kha'Zix 2-0-1. These assassin junglers are going to be explosive, but I think it really falls to the Hatters to be aggressive in the top lane before Mundo gets bid, before he has his mitigation stats. And they've been aggressive alright, but I don't think it's really gone their way just yet. Maybe that's one of these adaptations that we're going to see in Game 1 as we see Vayne getting silenced. But starting to get some hits. She needs the support of Kayle, who does come up, but they don't manage to pop that last stack. Let's take a look at the top lane tower's health, because that's going to be big. That's going to enable Mundo roams. We have a fight between Mundo and Wukong again. Viger is here to assist this time. Is this going to be another kill? This time it's passed over to the mid laner. I think without a doubt, this tower will go down now. And we've had a kill in the bottom lane as well. That is Vayne has taken down Soraka on her return from the mid lane, but she is now trapped. Will Xin Chao be able to take advantage of this? I think Misfortune could have collapsed there, but she may go down anyway. She gets the stun on Xin Chao. Xin Chao is very, very low. He's there with one auto attack taking him down, and he does go down slightly afterwards. We have Kha'Zix coming in as well, but he is warded. Are they going to die for Misfortune? I think with Vayne on that low health, I don't think they will dive. I think they will just take the damage on the tower. Let's take a look at the mid lane. Vladimir is already up to level 6. Sorry, just seeing Kha'Zix hovering there. Vladimir is already up to level 6. He's got himself just a Doran Shield, starting items. Viger has already started stacking that tier, and has a 4-level lead. As we see, top lane tower is about to go down. He does not bounce the wave, but that's going to be huge. That's going to enable Mundo to roam. Now, Kha'Zix has just stolen away Xin Chao's red buff. I don't think Xin Chao knew much about it. He is immediately looking for the culprit, but I think Xin Chao has got away without being spotted. Unless he hangs around here, there's going to be some jungle combat. Oh, that was very, very close. Almost like you can see those 2 kills have been put to good use in the build. He's got a lot of AD. He nearly takes Xin Chao in one combo. And Vladimir is hanging around. He doesn't want to get involved too much as of yet. I think that's a wise decision. As we see Wukong here, trying to find a way back into this top lane. He is not scared to go in and try and have some combat, but Mundo is looking to use his grasp of the Undying to trade, and trade he will. He manages to get the flash out. Xin Chao comes to assist him, and I think he will get out fairly easy. Xin Chao goes in. That's the ultimate from Wukong. This is the combination. This is the kind of link-up we will see. Will Mundo's ult manage to save him? Will he in fact trade back a kill? He does. Will he take down Xin Chao as well? That's a double kill for Mundo. Double kill for Dr. Mundo. That ultimate kept him alive. That was nicely baited. I think he may have even got an advantage by pulling them in against the minions, but that's a double kill. They are unable to shut him down. He's level 12. He's almost got a Sunfire cape. He's finished now his Dead Man's Plate. This man is going to be a problem for the Hatters. As we see them taking a dragon here. What type of dragon it is? It is an Ocean Drake that they have taken. So that's first dragon over to the Barbarians as well. A 5-1 Mundo. is now moving away from the top lane, you would assume, and is going to use that advantage to push the other lanes, to push that advantage. I think that is what he has to do. If not, he can just keep that steamrolling. I really don't know what the Hatters can do at this point. Vladimir is essentially just going to look to farm, so I don't think they can really hope for him to be roaming. Maybe, as I said, maybe in game 1, maybe that was part of the original game plan for this game, but maybe in game 2 we're going to see more assistance be handed over to Wukong, who is now 1 and 5. He's going for the Black Cleaver. That is going to start shredding armor, and it is going to help him and Xin Chao keep Mundo down. But it remains to be seen until they can finish these items and until they can really start pulling this back. I think Mundo is just going to stay in top lane and just push this advantage and say, hey, what are you going to do until you can deal with me? Because he is demanding to be dealt with there. We have Viger has just picked up a kill on Xin Chao. I have an awful habit of focusing on the people I'm talking about and missing kills. Yeah, he has just killed Wukong. That's going to stop him on his farm. We now have 5 deaths each on the jungler and the top laner. Mundo is kind of controlling the blue side jungle of the Hatters. And again, he's demanding to be dealt with. He's going to go in maybe for a little bit of a trade with Wukong here. Wukong actually getting a fair amount of damage on, but that ultimate is going to always keep him alive. Grasp of the Undying, and that's another kill going over to Mundo. That is now 6 and 1 on the Mundo. Let's go to bot lane because Misfortune has just had to go back to the base, and Vayne is going to use the advantage here. She doesn't manage to get the stun on Soraka, backs off immediately. I think taking these towers is going to turn both of these side lanes. They're going to go to mid lane. They're going to say, hey, we want this tower too. There's potentially going to be some combat here between Vladimir and Mundo. Vladimir goes into his pool and looks to escape. He gets the flash too, but now we have Kha'Zix coming in, and the kill goes over to Kha'Zix. That's 3 kills on a Kha'Zix now, and Mundo does not go down. The Ignite does not get him. Bot lane has gone down. They are not able to save that, and it looks like mid lane is going to go down almost simultaneously here. Wukong is up in the top lane farming, and it begs the question: what kind of control does he have over his jungle? I want to take a moment here, hopefully, if there's going to be some calm, to kind of look at the vision, because if you look at the blue side vision, there are not many wards. We're kind of seeing a few jungle wards, but you have to say that other than this kind of pink ward up here, Xin Chao is unable to keep an eye on his buffs. As we see Vayne here trading with Misfortune. Can she get that auto attack off? Surely, with the flash as well, but no, she is not able to pop those stacks, and she is on low health. She might even be fodder for Vladimir now. She almost executes the tower. The kill goes over to Misfortune. So let's have a look at the vision on red side. With these towers, I think when you take down a tower, that almost gives so much vision over already. I've missed another kill, haven't I? I've missed a kill on Xin Chao, which was killed by Mundo, I think, or maybe by Kha'Zix. And now we're looking to see another trade here. It's Vladimir and Wukong. Can they combine without Xin Chao? Can they combine sufficiently enough to take him down? I think Vladimir might potentially go down here. He does. Mundo is just diving at this point. Like, I don't know really what they can do. He kills the clone, but he is getting quite low. Will Mundo be able to be taken down? No, the ultimate is popped and it saves him from the tower. Xin Chao, will he be able to do it? He's going in as hard as they can, but they have to be wary of going in one at a time. That's a triple kill on Dr. Mundo. Lofticries is very pleased with that, and they're going to lose another tower. Now, Kha'Zix here may be looking to pounce in mid lane, in the bottom lane. Mid lane tower is being destroyed. This is very quickly going in favour of the Barbarians now. You kind of have to look to the Hatters here and say, what is your response? How do you change the strategy? Because I think there, with the 3 of them, had they waited for Xin Chao, he had just been taken down. Had they waited for Xin Chao, you have to suspect that they would have been able to finally shut him down. That would have been a good release there. And Vayne has just dived and taken a tower and dropped Misfortune with the help of Viger. Wizzykins there, I think, kind of acknowledging that they've put themselves in kind of an irrecoverable position here. Tough game without their mid laner. I really want to see what is going to come out in Game 2. Maybe the results of this game might be annulled. I'm not sure yet. But I think Barbarians have been in control really from start to end. We saw a kill from Dr. Mundo early. We saw those junglers go aggressive, but it very quickly turned towards the late game comp, towards the very tanky Mundo, towards this fed Kha'Zix. And Vayne's got everything she wanted. Now, Wukong is going in. This is surely going to be the last stand. Will they be able to take Mundo down? All of them together. Xin Zhao is already down. Mundo is going in. He doesn't care. He's just going to take down whoever he wants. And he's not even going to die under those Nexus towers. Vladimir is going to kind of see if he can take down Vayne. But Kayle with a lovely save there on the ultimate. Wukong comes straight back out and starts fighting. That's a good fighting spirit. That's fighting right to the end. I can. That's a lot of respect there to J-Star. But I think ultimately they're going to take him down. They will take down this last turret. They haven't even dropped anyone. Haven't even had a member drop. And the first game in this series will be going over to the Barbarians. A score of 26-4. A 20k gold lead as they take down Xin Zhao at the end there. Will they take down Misfortune before the Nexus drops? No, they will not. So, other than their mid laner needs to connect, I think this is where the Hatters are going to be talking. They're going to be on their comms. They're going to talk about what can we change, what can we do better, because Lofticries is either going to lock in a Garen, lock in a Mundo. He's going to be a problem for them, and now they know that. What are the adaptations are we going to see? Find out in Game 2.